Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Bring It Back. This being a show where I talk about TV shows that were canceled and or short-lived that I would like to see get brought back in some shape or form. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the freeform series Beyond. So if you're unfamiliar with Beyond, is basically there's this boy who's like, what was he, like 11 or 12? His name is Holden. He, like, something happened when he was younger and it ended up putting him in a coma, but then he wakes up like 10 years later and obviously kind of getting associated with like, oh man, like my family, my little brother's older, like so much time has passed. But it turns out Holden didn't come back 100% normal because now it also seems like he has supernatural abilities, because the show has like a little bit of a supernatural element to it, almost like borderline like some Matrix stuff of like, because basically while he was in that coma, he was in some other world. I forgot what the world was actually called because it's actually been a while, but basically he wasn't there alone. There was another, once again, I think the character's name, I think her name was Alex, I could be mistaken. Her and her grandfather were there with him, but it's like this other world where you had to like fight to survive, but also like you gain these abilities, and Holden is one of those people who could bring those abilities he had in that world into this reality. So it's almost a little Matrixy, but it's not like, oh man, this is a world where you can create. It's like, no, it's like this other world. And I think if I remember correctly, it's a situation where the world can kind of borderline between like, I think it's supposed to be kind of a thing where it's like the next lane close to death, like, because I know one of the main antagonists of the show, I think his name was Frost, that basically he tries to use this other world as a means to get to the afterlife, because he's trying to reunite with someone he cares about. That it's a whole thing. But so Holden's kind of torn between these two different groups, and these, you know, it's like, I think once again Alex and her grandfather, while also, because Frost has his own like cult following, cults of sorts, that kind of believes in, you know, what Holden's capable of, and Holden having the key to, you know, basically them all being reunited with the people they love and care about. That's kind of what he, you know, so it's this interesting drama where it's like Holden's got all that while he's also just trying to live his life, trying to figure out himself out, as well as all this other stuff about this other world. So it was a really interesting show. Sadly, it was canceled after its second season, which was a bummer because it ends on a pretty big cliffhanger. But I would want this show to come back. Like, I don't, like, I'm blurring it in my head. I think the show came out in 2017, and obviously season 2 I think came out 2018, if I'm remembering correctly. I think so. It hasn't been that long, but I don't know if it's a show where people are really clamoring for another season. Obviously I am. At the bare minimum, I would want one more season, you know, a season 3, but I feel like this is a show that could go on a little longer. Like if they wanted a 4th or 5th season, cool. It's just one of those things of like, I just want the entire story to be told. If they can fit it in one season to kind of finish everything up, sure. I mean, I feel like you could in certain regards, but like I said, it was just an interesting show. I'm not sure where you could find it. Obviously, you probably can track it down like digitally, like DVD and stuff like that, but like always, if I find out that it's on a particular streaming service, I'll include an annotation to, you know, convey that information. I just think where the show was, like where things could have gone directionally, I feel like it probably could have gotten even bigger and crazier with just everything going on. To be, like I said, to be fair, like it was potential like 2 years ago, like I said, because the second season came out in 2018, I think. Like, so I don't remember the ins and outs of where everything left off. I do just remember one of the cliffhanger angles to it all. But like I said, I would just like the show to kind of have another shot and be able to kind of go further. But, you know, I always got my fingers crossed with these type of situations, whether a show actually ever will get another shot or not. It's kind of a whole thing within itself, but I always hope that it does. But really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Until the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.